What you just saw right there is the German-made Skynex air defense system in Ukraine. Ukraine bravely defending its homeland from the Russia invasion. Not only that, Ukraine going on the offense. You see right here, Russia's Krasnodar oil refinery being hit by Ukrainian drones. Ukraine working hard to cripple Russia's ability to fuel its invasion against Ukraine. Meanwhile, you have Donald Trump and his regime shriveling up in the United States and behaving as a Putin bootlicker. It is disturbing to watch. We've seen French President Emmanuel Macron, Germany's Chancellor Merz meet in France over the past few days and talk about how weak the United States is looking under the failed leadership of Donald Trump. By the way, where the hell is Donald Trump? He has not been seen for the past few days. Yes, he's rage posting on social media, but no public appearances for him is very, very odd. We've seen the bizarre discoloration on his rotting hands. He's tried to cover it up with makeup. That doesn't work. We've seen the massive inflammation in his ankles. He can barely put his feet into his shoes right now, and he cannot walk in straight lines. As Charlotte Clymer writes, Trump wasn't seen yesterday by the White House press pool. He hasn't been seen today. He has no public events scheduled for the weekend. He hasn't been seen in public since Wednesday, and it's unclear if he'll even be seen in public until next Tuesday. That's pretty damn weird. Take a look right here as Governor Newsom posts the following. An image of Governor Newsom. Younger governor, handsome, looking like he's ready to defend the United States of America. On the other hand, a very sickly looking Donald Trump, Governor Newsom, post there side by side so you can really get a sense of how sickly and rotting Donald Trump looks compared to a much better looking, handsome Governor Newsom, strong leader in Newsom. Newsom goes, Governor Gavin Newsom just called Trump America's biggest loser after the court ruled that Trump's tariffs are illegal. This is a huge win while California's lawsuit moves forward. Folks, just think about the devastating news Donald Trump was handed. He's been unable to cover up the Epstein files despite all of his attempts since he forced Congress to go into recess. In order to cover up the Epstein files, he was handed a massive loss on Friday as the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Donald Trump's use of emergency powers to tariff the world was patently illegal. Also late Friday, a federal court ruled that Donald Trump's expedited deportations of immigrants who have been in the United States for some time without due process is also unlawful. It has been loss after loss for Donald Trump. And now the international community also is calling him out, how weak and pathetic he looks. I'll do a video on that in about 90 minutes where you see the president of Portugal calling Donald Trump an asset of Putin. You have French President Emmanuel Macron and Germany's Chancellor Merz saying, you've been played by Putin and it is humiliating, Donald. But here's what Donald Trump prefers to do. They posted this photo. I'm not sure when it's taken, but again, look how sickly he looks. He's looking at a bust of George Washington here. He almost looks like he's crying. It almost looks like he's going to vomit or something. But then Governor Newsom posted that image, replaced George Washington with Joseph Stalin because Donald Trump is a communist. He's a Marxist. And that's what Governor Newsom says. After nationalizing Intel, Comrade Trump, America's leading socialist, unveils the new statue. All hail Comrade Trump. That's how you have to treat Donald Trump. You got to bully him. You got to mock him. You got to humiliate him in public the way Governor Newsom is doing. And the way voters are doing across the country right now. I understand Donald Trump wants to rig the midterms because he knows the massive loss that he and the MAGA Republicans are about to face. Democrats up significantly in the generic ballot because, let's face it, the MAGA Republicans have caused more harm to America than really anyone in the history of our country in such a short period of time. Here's a collection of clips of multiple Republicans getting booed at town halls this week, care of our friend Jen Psaki. Play this clip.
One of the things that I wanted to do is try to heal our country. I think we are more divided. And sir, you're laughing. It's not helping.
You're not happy. They found loopholes to be able to add non-citizens, illegal aliens, into...
They're humans!
Almost everyone in the room, if you pay income taxes, would have had your taxes increased. Trump is doing a great job of securing our border.
They want to know who pays the tariff. Is it consumers or the exporting country?
So right now, what we just saw in the report is that we haven't seen inflation at all. If y'all saw the report, 0.2% on units.
That wasn't a question.
So if there was inflation, you would see it in the
Shame! Bye, Felicia!
But folks, what are they talking about in their MAGA fantasy land and their dystopian world of American carnage? Anna Paulina Luna, MAGA Republican Congresswoman, is saying, you know what? If the Nobel Peace Prize team doesn't give Donald Trump the award, they better watch out right now. And you know what? While they're at it, they better give it to Melania also. Here, play this clip.
Do you think that the Nobel Peace Prize Committee people will actually come around? Or at some point, I guess maybe they need him more than he needs them.
Most certainly, if the Nobel Peace Prize Committee knows what's good for them, they do the right thing and nominate him. But also, too, I think that Melania Trump might also have a nomination. I think that she's been very instrumental in discussions with Russia. And also, too, I think that she's going to be a key reason why we're able to broker peace with Ukraine.
I love that. They could be the first joint couple to earn the Nobel Peace Prize. And then even better would be if they then turned it down.
Again, these people are just so odd. Then you have MAGA Republican Senator Tim Scott saying, first he attacks Obama, like they're obsessed with Obama. Then he goes, at the end of the day, we just got to thank the good Lord. Thank the good Lord for President Trump. Thank the good Lord for him. Play this clip.
President Obama, maybe he's jealous. Maybe it's a Trump derangement syndrome. At the end of the day, can't we just thank the good Lord we have a president who cares about all Americans? Whether you vote for him or not, we got to look at D.C. and say one thing is clear. The poorest citizens are safer and more secure in their places that they call home. That's great news for America.
Thank the good. Where the hell is he, by the way? J.D. Vance is saying he's ready to be the president if Trump's health fails. And speaking of health, here is RFK Jr. Here's what he had to say on Friday. Let's play this clip.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture and bring back pride and self-esteem and make that agency the stellar agency that it's always been. I'm very confident in the political staff that we have down there now that they're going to be able to accomplish that and ensure the competent functionality of that agency.
That's it. That's all we got time for. That's all we got.
As Kara Switcher says, no notes. The CDC used to stand for United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Now it's CD, Center for Disease. One of the former top officials at the CDC, Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, says, the CDC you knew is over. Unless radical action is taken, we're going to be screwed because the CDC is not doing its function. Speaking about being screwed, this is the headline from Fortune. It's like when you see the tsunami coming in. Agricultural economists are sounding the alarm about produce prices doubling. Robertson predicted produce prices could rise 50% to 100% by early next year due to tariffs and deporting agriculture workers. Yeah, that's what happens when you implement these disastrous policies that Trump is. Now, by now you know the ruling. The Federal Circuit Court of Appeals struck down Donald Trump's use of tariffs against the world, but Donald Trump rage posted, all tariffs are still in effect. Today, a highly partisan appeals court incorrectly said that our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. The USA will no longer tolerate enormous trade deficits and unfair tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers imposed by other countries, friend or foe, that undermine our manufacturers, farmers, and everyone else. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. You see what he's doing there? He's trying to blame the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals for his disastrous economy. Same way he's trying to blame the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, the same way they all blamed and he blamed Dr. Fauci for COVID. Donald Trump is an incompetent loser, a felon, a sexual abuser, someone who's bankrupted most companies that he's touched in his life, and he just blames people, throws them under the bus. That's just the objective data, folks. Not being political. He bankrupted like every one of his casinos in Atlantic City. All of these stupid products that he sold over his life. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. Bankrupt, lawsuit. That's who this guy is. He's a freaking loser, the biggest loser that there is. And what a loser behavior by posting something like that as well. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. There's a reason people are booing him. Trust me, manufacturers getting screwed. Farmers are getting screwed. Consumers, we're getting screwed. But we're calling them out here on the MeidasTouch Network each and every freaking day. We're going to flood the zone with the truth. Hit subscribe, share this channel with anybody you know. Go to MeidasPlus.com while you're at it as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.